doesn't get much better than this. Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Matt.
I'm Megan.
I'm Papa.
I'm Kelly.
And we're some of the Veggie boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help.
7 years. In another state and was in.
Hey everyone, things are pretty frosty on the farm this morning. Last night our temperatures dipped pretty low, causing some of our water bowls to freeze. We have a pretty strong cold front moving in. There is a chance for us to receive snowstorms this morning. I'm kind of excited for that. I would not be opposed to having some beautiful snow out here. Even though it got really cold last night, I think our water bowl stuck it out for as long as it could because these chickens aren't even surrounding this water that we dumped in. Usually when it freezes like this overnight, the chickens will usually just surround the water bowls the second you fill them up. I saw maybe a few chickens picking at it, but not too many, which is a good sign. Darn near everything can affect how many eggs your chickens lay. And not having water, that's a big factor. So we try and make sure that our chickens never go without water for too long. But overnight, sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. So we will have those heaters inside those water bowls. That can help out sometimes. Chickens are all taken care of. We ended up with 2 really nice baskets of eggs. Now we're gonna move on to taking care of the cattle. Dad already got a jump start on this job. He already got all the silage dumped in and he's getting started on grain. The other day we had hauled 4 head of cattle out of here and we just added 3 more yesterday. Right over my shoulder is one of the ones that we just added. They seem to be doing really well. Sometimes when you move them into these pens, a lot of the cattle that were already in there can kind of pick on them. Didn't see it too much with these cattle that we just moved over recently, but it's something you always have to watch out for. Dad's getting the last of the grain dumped into the back pens, and then that will be it for all these cattle. Before we get moving on to our next job, I've got something rather important I want to talk about. Very recently, we've been getting a lot of questions about our chickens. Now, I think one of the reasons why we've been getting so many questions is because there's something substantial happening to the birds all over the place. They've been getting hit with disease and ultimately people end up losing their entire flocks. The big question we've been receiving is what are we doing to protect our birds from any problems that they could face in the near future? Thankfully in our area, we haven't been seeing many of these problems, so that doesn't raise our alarm like crazy. What we will do is if we go to another farm where they have chickens, we will completely sanitize our boots, our clothes, whatever we were wearing. Not that we're assuming other farms are gonna have problems that we don't, but it's just a precaution. If anybody comes here and they have their own chickens, I'd recommend they do the same. Another thing we've changed from when I was younger to now is we just don't let anybody come down around back and look at the animals anymore. It is kind of a big change. We had a lot of local families that love bringing their kids over. They love visiting farms, but there's a lot of risks there. Not only are we moving a lot of equipment around, and there's younger ones, they don't really understand proper safety around large equipment, so there was that, but there's also our animals. If they're visiting other farms, if they go on a school trip to a farm, there is some dangers. They could bring diseases to our farm just by visiting. It may sound like we're being a little critical with that, like we're being a little intense, but when it comes to the health and safety of our animals, it's important to us. And if we were to bring something like bird flu here, that would be devastating. That'd be very bad. So that's one of the things we've been doing. If we go to other farms, when we come back here, if they have birds, we like to sanitize our clothes, our boots, whatever we were wearing. And we just don't let anybody come down here and look at the animals anymore. Times have changed. I know a lot of people enjoy doing stuff like that, but just to be safe, we don't allow it. One last question I'll answer is people were saying, what happens if the bird population in your local area becomes affected? Because there's a lot of open air access to our chicken pens. Well, the number one thing we would have to do is then close all of this off to protect our animals. This pen would end up being a lot easier to take care of as opposed to the other one. But if it came down to it, we'd have to find a way to close off this little section, make sure no birds fly over the top. I'm not 100% educated on the whole problem. I've just been hearing more and more about it, and I've had a lot of people asking me about it. What do I think is gonna happen? I think the price of eggs are gonna go up, but anytime you mention chicken and problem in the same sentence, price of eggs usually goes up.
One last thing that really benefits us is we're not in a high animal concentrated area. I can only think of within maybe 8-10 miles of us, there's only 2 farms or 3 farms that have cows, and it's only a few.
Chickens.
And chickens are even less than that. There's probably, I think maybe only 1 or 2 farms that even have a few chickens. So there's not an area where we need to be overly concerned.
But like I've said, I've noticed a lot of people have been asking about it into the comments, so we just wanted to touch on it a little bit, try and make you guys more comfortable with what we're dealing with. When it really gets down to it, we're gonna just do whatever we can to protect our animals. That's one of the most important things you can do as a farmer. We had the chance of getting snowstorms this morning, and it looks like it's getting started. While I was talking about all that, started getting some flurries coming down, and it's starting to pick up. There you go, look at that, beautiful. Just put some straw in for these guys. That looks nice and comfy. That's like Crocodile Dundee of tractors. Oh, you see that? A bin! You know what that means? We got picking to do. It's almost the end of December, and we're going out to the fields to pick. How does that make you feel? Yes, the guy with his hand up. Makes me feel pretty good. I'm excited. I heard not that far away from here, the snow is really coming down. It's not here just yet, but it's really coming down, and it's sticking about 10 miles away from here, so we're gonna get started.
Glad you have the heater on and have it warmed up.
I'm always thinking about you, Dad, just like the door on your skid steer loader. Keeping you nice and warm.
Notice Daniel's in the tractor with the heater and Matt got in with him.
What are you gonna do? At least we have a windshield, a dirty windshield. Woohoo! Our first stop is gonna be right here because we gotta grab something. Tell me it's frozen. There we go. This thing right here is very important. It's a fertilizer injector, and we had left it out here, so we want to make sure we get it home before it really freezes. If we had liquid in that thing, it would have been completely destroyed. Thankfully, we got it all out. Oh, looks like the snow's showing up. Woohoo!
We got good news and bad news. Bad news is that it's cold. The good news is that it's so cold that we're not gonna get water on our hands because all the water is frozen.
You guys may remember from the other day when we were out here picking frozen cabbage. Well, we're out here doing it again today. The only bonus that we really have, well, I should say two bonuses. One, we're able to get cabbage, most important thing. But two, because it's so cold, hopefully that'll keep the hands dry. Hopefully. It is really nice starting to see the snow come down. I can't remember the last time I picked cabbage in the snow, so this is a good experience.
Andy, don't worry about it. Just throw it on here. We'll clean it up when we get it out to sell.
All right, boss. Oh yeah.
Remember all the old timers told you they used to walk to school in the snow? You know what you boys could say? I cut cabbage in the snow.
I remember one time cutting cabbage in the snow where Andrew fell through a puddle and got soaking wet and cried.
Oh my goodness, I remember that day too.
I don't think you guys are funny.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, you know,
like,
2 years ago.
Yeah, he was like 19.
No, I was probably like 5 or 6. It was a very long time ago. Now this is me being 100% honest with you. This is when you have to be the most careful while you're harvesting cabbage. Even though our hands aren't getting wet, your hands can still get pretty cold. You want to make sure that your fingers stay away from anywhere that you're gonna have your knife. So the biggest reason for that is that you don't cut yourself. And believe me, when it's cold like this, it can be easy to cut yourself. You have to also remember at the bottom part of these leaves, some of that ice can be pretty sharp. You can be pushing through with your knife and then slide your hand in there to get the cabbage picked up, and you can actually cut your hand on the ice. It's a problem. So as you're picking, not only are gloves important to keep your hands warm, but they also help prevent cuts, especially from that ice. That one was frozen.
What? That grabbed my leg.
The top of these leaves, see all the ice on them? Look at this ice. This is what you gotta watch out for. Hey Matt, tell everyone what's the real problem right now.
Daniel's got a t-shirt on.
Unbelievable. You can't even see that mountain over there anymore. And this mountain is slowly disappearing.
Sure look ugly when we're done harvesting them, but I think it's prettier than when they're growing.
It's just as nice to know we got everything picked that we
Riding
wanted.
in the heat home.
We got our cabbage all picked, full bin. We got some red cabbage, purple cabbage there on top. Doesn't get much better than that. You know, I wouldn't say this is my most ideal picking weather, but there's something that feels good about picking in the snow and getting everything taken care of. What do you think, Dad? How do you feel about picking in the snow?
I love the snow. I love working in the snow.
Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Before you take your boots off.
No one's impressed. Nope. There's some big stuff going on in here. Aunt Rhonda's making chocolate peanut butter cakes. And then over here, Callie, what are you doing?
She's making herself a cake.
Wow.
She icing that. Now
Wow.
she's putting sprinkles. Okay, I think we got enough sprinkles.
Yeah, spread the sprinkles out. No more sprinkles. No more sprinkles. There we go. You want to eat your cake now? Oh, look at that. What a deal. Callie gave me a little piece of her chocolate cake, and that was just wonderful. It's one of those things you don't expect to receive after picking a bin of cabbage, but I almost think that should be tradition. Eat chocolate cake after you pick some cabbage. When we got back with the cabbage, Daniel ran out with the forks, and he picked up 2 round bales of corn stalks, and we're gonna be putting it into our pastured cattle's pen. I'm just a little late because I was stuffing my face full of chocolate cake. What's up, buddy?
You have it backwards? No, we're good. I'm just making sure it's coming undone when I start rolling.
Oh, we got it the right way. Out of the way, guys. Come on, beep, beep. 1, 2, 3.
Beautiful, guys.
Thanks, Dad.
That thing will go up and come back.
Matthew's finishing up with breaking up the inside of that round bale. Looks like it's gonna cover really nicely. This is what the pen looks like. We spread it out a little bit, but the cattle did most of the work. Thankfully, we were able to have plenty to put into the back of the pens. It's where the calves like to hang out. It's nice to have that all bed up as well. I think Matt just said it best. That takes a lot of work, but it costs a lot less than some other methods. And truthfully, it is one of my favorite things, seeing the cattle pick through all these corn stalks. You just know they enjoy it.
Raw, but it's great. Good job. No, put them out there. I'm going to put them in that shed out there.
That shed. My hand signals were on point. Daniel knows right where to go. Worked out pretty good. We brought up a few more round bales of the corn stalks and then 2 hay bales. That way we can feed those later on. We don't have to worry about running out and grabbing them. Well, the snow is accumulating a tiny bit on the ground, but nothing substantial. I think if it kicks up a little bit and it really starts to snow, that we could see maybe a few inches on the ground, but it'd have to really start snowing for that. This is what I love to see. Fresh bedding down, and what do all the cattle do? They start coming over and laying on it. That's one, or eating it, like this little guy. Nice and comfy in here, aren't we, guys? Beautiful. We just got done tearing up the ground a little bit, so Dad's gonna go over with the skid steer loader bucket, smooth everything out so that when it refreezes in probably a few hours, we won't be rolling our ankles tomorrow. After Daniel got finished bringing all that stuff back with the loader, he came in here, started loading eggs onto the grader. Matthew came in here right behind him, And Matthew is sorting them and putting them into cartons, Matt. Why is it so important that we get this done?
Because we are out of eggs.
Yeah, no eggs. It's now lunchtime here on the farm. And for lunch, we are having hoagies. Oh yeah, baby, look at that spread. And look at these breads over here. Woo, look at those cakes ready to be icing. I'll be honest with you, this place is a dangerous place to be this time of year. So many goodies. Do you see the snow?
Yes.
What do you think of the snow?
Good.
Can I get a woohoo? I love the snow, Callie. You want me to do the snow dance? What do you think? Was that good? We're all finished with lunch and now we're sitting around the table with a whole bunch of seeds and some seed catalogs. We need to look at what seed we have left over from last year and see what we're going to be ordering for this upcoming year. This is something we've done every single year. We've gone in more detail about it. But this is what we're going to be doing for the next few minutes and just enjoying the snow out the window. It's starting to cover everything out there. Beautiful snowstorm coming through. I'm now at home outside. It is completely snow covered. It's been snowing basically all day. We had a great day at the farm market, but that's what it was, hanging out at the farm market. Now here we have the babies that just had dinner. How was your dinner, Lily? Was it good? And then how was your dinner, Mr. Ronnie? Was it good? Yummy, 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 yummy. Look at my big old babies. And Callie is here in her new princess dress. How do you feel about it?
Good.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Tonight for dinner, Lauren and I went a little crazy. We got takeout. We got Mexican food from a local restaurant. I love Mexican food. And since I love Mexican food, that means this is where we're gonna end the video. I'd like to thank everyone for watching and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.